Hello guys, good morning, good evening. Welcome to another episode of Xah Talk Show. We are going to code emacs lisp. We got many things to do, two major things. Make a citation, emacs command to make a citation. Like if you blog, you got some website, you put the title and author and date and you press a button and they format it. So make citation, that's one thing. The other thing is when you have a photo, you want to, a screenshot or a photo you took, you want to get the date, the image date from the metadata of the image and put that date into the file name. So rename the file. So extract the image date. So that's the two things we gonna do. And just randomish, okay? So let's begin. So let's see. Yeah, okay, so I'm using Emacs and keyboard. Every episode I introduce my keyboards and Emacs setup. So I'm not gonna do it today. So let's just do these things I need to do, okay? Show today's talk show. Yeah, let's begin. So if you are watching, if you have comments, say love to see your comments, okay? If you are watching offline, play at 1.5 speed and skip around because I ramble. Okay, start coding, yes. So citation, make citation. So let me demo. So for example, let's say some website. Let's say what, programming languages. So we got a new, someone told me, thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Charlie Jack. He told me the origin of this Lisp logo we talked about a few days ago. It's from this book, Little Lisp, 3rd edition, 1989. Okay, apparently this logo is designed by the great guy Steele Jr., who is one of the greatest Lisp coder and creator. So that's about that. So I want to do a demo of citing some website. Okay, so let's see. So how do I do it? So we need to find an example of a website. Okay, hold on a second. Let me stop the video. Hold on, give me a second. Speedo camera. Can you, okay, click on that. Be right back in 1 minute. Back. Okay, I'm back. So let's show an example. Let's just say Lisp. Okay, let's go to Wikipedia. So today's talk show, and let's just search for Lisp. Search for it and go to Wikipedia. Now, when you are blogging, there's a lot of websites. Sometimes you want to cite. So for example, let's say I want to cite this website. So typically the URL is everything you need. I mean, not everything, that's the most important. But also often I want to have an author name, let's say by Joe or something. So, when you find a blog, you copy their name, you find their name, Joe Blow, and usually there's a date, and so then usually there's a title, something about this. So you copy that, then you see, then you press a button. There's a command I've written. You that's called make citation. Okay, so let's see. So you can get the code, I believe. Let's see, do I have the code? For example, let's say, yeah, I have a code here showing browser. Make citation. Okay, so I removed the code because code removed because it requires because it gets it gets larger. That's why I removed the code, because to include the code on my website you need to include lots of other utilities. Yeah, so for example, Xah is date timestamp, Xah fixed date time string. What others? Then Xah HTML URL to dated links. Yeah, so you need those kind of three things. That's why I removed it. But anyway, that's a command. Okay, so you can see it made those lines. Let me redo. Okay, so copy, paste it here, do it again, make a paragraph, and this one make a list. Okay, actually make both list. Okay, showing browser, so you can see the difference. Why is my hold on a second, why is my font not increased? So let me hold on a second. Okay, ease of access 130, apply. Okay, now it's much better. So you see, was like that, now it becomes this nice format. Okay, I gotta make some changes. So recently I made a change so that right now it's using this bracket. The name is left tortoise shell bracket. So if you search for Unicode brackets, which is bracket there, so you can see all sort of brackets, very useful. Okay, Unicode brackets, you got all these fantastic. Bracket is the most useful characters of all characters because they come in matching pairs. Okay, so let's close that. Let's paste that link there. God, we got a lot to do, so hold on a second. So we got a lot to do. So we show the example of this citation. So I want to make some change because right now the command adds this bracket. You see these matching brackets. But I recently made a change so that it no longer uses the bracket. It instead uses God, I need to show you. Okay, so let me show you. So search for X site. I have a custom tag. Okay, so for example, I'll show you this page, Allen key on object-oriented programming. So you go down, you can see citations. For example, this one, Object Orientation, Generic Functions by Peter Siebel. He's he's a guy who wrote Common Lisp book. Yeah, God, I got so many things. So let me just work on my website. So I got so many things going on. So let's show another website. So Microsoft, Apple, Mozilla dismisses start. So there you got several citations. So when you look at the source code, you can see there is this, let's highlight it, this cite tag, you see. So instead of the tortoise bracket, that's the change I made. So let's fix the code. Go to the source code, fix the code, make citation. Yeah, okay, so hold on a second. copy it, new buffer, paste it, go here, copy, xx date, paste the name .el. So this is a temp file, xutf, so make it lexical binding. Then go back to the cite tag we need to change. So here is a code. So let's search for that character. Yeah, so yep, change that there. Okay, delete that and put that there, delete that. Okay, now search that character again. Let's see, do we have it? Okay, so actually, so actually we need, instead of that, say that, okay, backslash. Now custom tag is very useful. So okay, so this is a documentation and created date version, paste it there, today's date, and go back to our code. I think we forgot a slash there. Okay, so now evaluate the code. Okay, go back here, and let's copy, paste, remove all that, and remove all that, and call it, make citation. So you see, you got the cite, x cite. Now make a paragraph of it, showing browser. You got this one, fantastic, instead of that one. Okay, so that's one thing changed. Now there is, so this is original. So let's remove what I don't want to format the code. What? So this is before, and this is after. Showing browser. There it is. This before, this is after, then this is new with a citation tag. Custom tag. Okay, now let me show you guys custom tag. Custom tag is very useful in HTML because that way you avoid all the dive, nested dive. Custom tag allows you to find the beginning and end tag easily. Okay, so just go to Xah Web Dev blog, custom, search for it. You got custom data attribute, and also you got custom tag, custom element. Okay, like that. One requirement about custom element is that the name can be anything, but it requires a dash. So it needs to start with a letter, then a dash somewhere. Okay, so let's copy that, close that, showing browser. So with the custom tag, and let's make this okay, paste a link, linkify, list, remove, join the two, and delete this whole list, and make a, wait, let's not go there. So then let's so add a breaker, line break, paste it there, showing browser. So we got different sections. So this part is about make a citation. So let's so actually we got a example here. We should have used that, but anyway. So now select, press a key, they add a section. Okay, so you got a section. So delete that. citation. Okay, so this section is about make citation, then this section remove that. Then the next thing we need to do is about extract date in image file and rename it in the file. Okay, so now make citation, then extract date in image file, then something else we talked about. Okay, now let's go back to the make citation. So we know what we want to do, and we have done demo. The next thing we want to do is so let's remove that one. Okay, after, yeah, okay, so so one of the problem with the citation is that sometimes you don't have this particular order: URL, title, author, date. Sometimes you got the date there or the title there, something like that. So it is very tedious to order them. I would like to make the command automatically recognize which one is URL, which one is date, which one is author. Okay, you cannot do that 100% because there is no precise way to determine. Because, for example, this Joe below a person's name, that could be a title, so there's no way to tell, but there are heuristic means, because typically a title is not a person's name, and typically if you say by something, then that almost always means it's author. Similarly, a date, usually your title is not just a date, but it could be. So, but usually not. So usually there's heuristic means to determine which line is the date. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna modify the make citation to do this recognition. Okay, so let's go there. So here's our code. Make a backup. So I had the code before to recognize, but it's like very cumbersome, and now I don't feel like coding it. Hello Gabriel, does that work like BB text? No, it's not the BB text format, because those reference citations from APL, I mean from those standard academic organizations, they are very much corrupt. So like you have a particular style guide depending on which university, they have a particular style guide, and there are several of them, but they turned out they are extremely complex and not practical, and they are just like corrupted. They are fake. They are no good. Those bibliography formats. So my citation does not follow those formats. My citation is just my own. So you got a title, date, very important, critical, then person's name, then the URL, if there's one. Okay, so it would be nice if we could have a file with the metadata and you could simply cite in HTML. What do you mean? Yeah, well, okay, so what we gonna do now? So we got I've been coding so much, I have hand pain. So what I want to do, I want to be able to God. auto order somewhat, also allow emit URL. So you want the code to be able to identify which one is URL, which one is title, which one is author, which one is date. Okay, you want the code to be able to identify that. So yeah, so I used to have code like that, but then it's pretty complex because so this problem is involving you got a list of items, let's say 10, it could be 100, okay, but in our case it's just 4 things. So you got a list of items, you want to be able to identify which one is which. Now if you don't care much about if you don't care about being the most efficient way to do that, then it's kind of easy. Yeah, not exactly, because it's all heuristics, because you cannot be 100% sure to be able to identify each one of them with certainty, you see, because like we talked about, this by Ewan Morrison, that could be the title itself. There's no way to tell, except if you have a by word in front, then usually it's just the author. So there's no 100% certainty. URL, typically you can know for certain, because if it starts with HTTPS, okay. And similarly for date, you see, if your date is always in this format, this is ISO something 89 something format, this is the best format for date, then it's trivial to recognize. However, in real world, most websites, most author, most academic paper, they don't use this date. So like they have the American style, the most idiotic style, like sometimes January 23rd, 98, or 98 Jan 23. Sometimes they say 23rd, sometimes they say 23. Then sometimes January is 1 instead of Jan, or sometimes it's full word January, sometimes Jan, sometimes 1, sometimes 01. So the date, so I got the command Xah fixed date time, so that command tries to recognize and make them into this universal format. So for now it recognizes these varieties of format. You see, sometimes people use a slash, sometimes with a dot, and the order is all screwed. So even with this command, I was using this command, but in the past, often, still often you cannot recognize the date. So, but if you, so to recognize, so this is fixed date time. This code is here if you guys want to use it, Xah fixed date time. So if you have any of this type of date time format, you press the button, you'll call this command, and those date time will be fixed. So let's copy the URL and let's go to Talk Show and paste it there, okay? Okay, and also this code is not being updated, so you see I know because this version format is old, so 2024 February, okay. But let's describe function, go to the source code. So okay, so the code haven't changed, 2024 February. Yeah, so you can use that code. And what else we are doing? Datetime parser, okay. So what are we doing now? So let's go back to this to do. What is this? Programming block, close. Back here, make citation. Yes, that's the code we want to fix. And okay, so right now they require this order: URL, title, author, date. Okay, so URL, title, author, date. To actually code this, it's not gonna be trivial. It will require a lot of thinking. So basically what you do is that you got a list of 4 things. So, and for each one, you got 4 variables: URL, title, author, date. You want to set them to, one of these items in a list. So you pick the one that's the most easy to recognize. Let's say URL, because URL typically always begin with HTTP, right? So you start with URL, go through the list. If you found a match, set that to URL and delete that element, or set it to nil. Okay. So now your list got 3 items. One of them is nil. So you got 3 items. You see, this problem is complicated because your list of 4 items, some of them may be nil to begin with. So anyway, let's suppose all of them are filled. So you start with URL, you got it, then you set it. Then you start with, let's say date. Then when you find the date, you set to the date, make that item nil. So now your list got 2 more items that's not nil. Okay, so that would be between title and author. So how do you determine? Well, title is usually, so if the line contains by something, then that typically is author. Okay, so, but you don't know for sure, because very often the title will be, by something, or sometimes the title must contain the author name, because, for example, so you got old literatures, for example, Arabian Nights. Sometimes you want Arabian Nights by Sir Richard Burton. Okay, there are other examples. For example, this one, The Time Machine by H.G. Wells. So the title contains by for authors that has been dead, classic work. You typically want the author name to be part of the title. So you cannot determine, so when the title, when a line contains by, you cannot be sure it's title or author. Yeah, so this is a great novel, by the way, one of my favorite, The Time Machine. So you got this. Yeah, so you got this in you cannot be sure to find it. Yeah, the code is gonna be tedious, a bunch of guesses. So I was thinking, I use this command often. It used to do this guess, but one time I find it too tedious, so I removed them. So I decided to always require it to be URL, title, author, date in that order. But then by now it's been like a few years. I find that very tedious, because every time it's very annoying. You go to you found some programmer blogging about something, right? Like today we were talking about BEM CSS. I was trying to find what the fuck is that. So for example, this page, BEM style CSS, It's a methodology that helps you to create reusable components and code sharing in front-end development. By the way, I looked into that's bullshit. Okay, so we were, we were discussing about that web dev. George, so George was explaining to me, and I asked the Grok bot about this. Anyway, I think this is the Zoomer generation idiocy, a snake oil that doesn't help you anything. It's just like, and then you see this, we were talking about logos 2 days ago. These cookie stamp websites, they have like companies using BEM, and then you got like one bunch of logos. Fucking idiocy. You see, this is a way to promote themselves, because if they say Google or Microsoft, then oh yeah, I recognize that, oh my god, they are all using this, I need to use this too. It's a tactic to advertisement, a marketing or brainwashing tactic, with these companies using our product, them a bunch of logos, and a bunch of logos, this thing is cookie stamp by all these frameworks, since like 15 years ago. There are so many websites with this format, they look nice. So anyway, so for example, so I'm a coder, so I run into this article, so I want to cite it, because I want to make comments, so so let's say, for example, comp my programming blog. So actually I was just starting to write a blog about it. So here, so you can see Xah web dev blog. What's BEM, Smash CSS, Cube CSS? So I asked Grok AI bot. You see, I asked Grok because I was trying to read, what they say, like easy, modular, flexible, but I don't quite understand what do you mean, so I was reading it, learn why it is better, I was reading this. I don't quite get it. Like what is the point? Then I asked Grok. Then Grok actually did a good explanation, Then I see, oh, okay, it's kind of naming convention. Then, then anyway, so I, so I want to blog about this website. So what I do, I copy the URL, go here, copy the URL, go to Emacs. So for example, then let's say start a new blog to do. Okay, so let's say paste URL, and typically, so for most people, for most bloggers, programmers, that's it. Then they just comment, oh, I found this website, something about BEM CSS. Okay, that's typically what people do. That's it. But you got a problem with a simple link like that, because by next year, by 5 years, it'll come. Maybe you are young today, but 5 years, 10 years will come. You don't remember what the fuck that is. You click it, it's gone. Like most of these, they'll last 5 years. Then it totally disappeared. Like you don't know who the fuck they are. All these like CSS smash, like, and more adult. We got a more adult elite hacker. He's like, oh, you need to use this. So most of these sites like that, they don't last long. 5 years, 10 years, they'll be gone. And also, so anyway, so most people, when you blog, you got a URL, but by in few years, you don't remember what it is, and you don't know who wrote it, and you don't know what date. Usually they don't even have a date. I always have a date. Okay, I always have a date on my blog. But you go to other websites, like oftentimes you cannot find the date, and also you don't know who wrote it. So if you want your writing to be more permanent, you need the URL, but also the date and the author. okay, and also title. Okay, that's why you need this citation. So the next thing I have to do is I need to find the author, and that is usually a headache, because these fuckheads, these starting around 2000, year 2000, they started to not including their name at all. So you have no idea who the fuck wrote these. Okay, like what's your background? Like what are you? And half of the time they are corporation, because they are making money. They want to promote something. They want to sell their snake oil, so they don't give a date or author or company name usually. Okay, like have so I cannot, there's no author name attached. And the title, like a lot this website, this particular website is an essay. You see, it's an essay or documentation. They are trying to explain to you what is BEM, BEM CSS, right? But they don't know, they don't know stuff. They don't have a proper title. You see, instead you got an introduction. So a lot websites are like that. So in this case, what can I do? I just make well, usually in this case, I don't cite it. I just like I just say, BM website. Because they don't they don't have title, author, stuff like that. But for many other more serious academic papers, then they will have proper title and author and date. Okay, so anyway, that's why this is make citation. That's why you want this. So yeah, I was blogging about that. Then yeah, so I was saying that then I started to, it's so I was trying to show example. It's quite tedious to find title. They don't have a title, so so we make one for them. BM homepage. Okay. Then by, you don't know who the fuck it is. Let's say, who is it by? Then you have to dig. Like what corporation, who they belong to. This is like little thousand problems of the coders, and that's why society gets worse and worse. Because they don't understand how society works or whatever. So you go to FAQ about this crap. I want to know, who are you? Maintained by core team with the help of our contributors. So what the fuck is core team? So go to it. There it is. So finally you get some names. So but what is their company? What do they do? This kind of situation, not good. Vladimir Sakov seems like Russian. Vaya, so people, organization, overview, and see overview. Get BEM. Oh, okay. Next generation of BEM. Now, is that an actual company, or is it just a GitHub for you two people? You don't know. Okay. Yeah, so this project, this seems like shit. It just seems like this is not useful at all. This just some Joe created this. And lots of stars, 5.7 kilo. project structure. Inside of your Astro project, you'll see the following folders and files. Astro looks for .astro. So what is this get bin? Oh God, back to this page. Naming introduction, naming. Okay, I think I'm tired of this website. So what we do now? So I was working on my citation command. I wanted to be able to automatically figure out the URL title, author, date. Okay, and also I want to be able to sometimes omit a URL also. Okay, but I decided now actually coding it, I decided it's too complex. Let's not do it. Yeah, okay, that's yeah, kind of annoying. Okay, that's about that. Now there's another thing I want to do is I want to be able to, when you take a photo from your phone or screenshot, you got a file, but on Apple, they don't have a date in the file name. Usually cameras they do, but I noticed on Apple's iPhone, they don't have a date in the file name. They have the date inside the file as a metadata. So that's very annoying because metadata sometimes gets removed. So when I transfer file from my Mac to my PC, usually I automatically strip the metadata. So by the time I get it, I don't have the date. So I don't know when is the date this photo was created. I forgot, right? So that's very annoying. So I want to write a script such that before I remove the metadata, I move the date into the file name, then remove the metadata. Okay, but right now I don't, so how many people are watching? I don't feel like coding it. I mean, so what do you guys think? Okay. So if you guys don't know, well, so there is this command to delete EXIF data. Very useful, and that's how so I have a bunch of a command that show metadata or delete metadata. So for example, I can show you screenshots directory. So this is a screenshot, one of I did. So you press a key, then it'll show you the metadata for that file. You see you got file modification date, access date, creation date, but this may not be the date this photo was taken, because I have another command that will remove metadata, so it's gone. So now if you show it, some of the minimum is still there, but it's gonna be it's not it's so what I'm saying, this file creation date is not necessarily the date the photo is taken. So you got all these commands. So all these commands, I'm relying on this external command exif tool. Okay. So now I want to, okay, so let's focus on how do you get the date out of it? Okay, so I don't want to show all metadata, so let me show. Okay, my emacs command show metadata, and it will, what does it do? It just, okay, so when you call it, this command on a file name, it will just show all metadata, okay? Then, but, oh god, this is gonna get complex. What we want is the specific date for the, for when the photo was taken. Okay, so in that case, then you need to look into the standard for EXIF. For example, here's a sample from Nikon camera. Okay. So there it is. So there is this daytime original. I believe that's the, so camera model name, file modification time. So you need to look into JPEG or PNG, their specifications, standard metadata headers, to, in order to use this EXIF tool to extract that. You know, so EXIF tool, their man page is very complex. This is their man page, very complex. The complexity may be due to either the complexity of the metadata of different image formats themselves, which I believe is fairly complex, because you got EXIF standard, you got GPS, you got quite a few, okay, from different standard bodies. JPEG, PNG, you know, then camera makers, they may add their own, some of these image files, they may have extensible metadata format. Okay, then you got video formats that's extremely complex. So that's complex. But then this command itself, you know, it may add more complexity. It doesn't, well, yeah, so our job is to extract the original date of a photo from the metadata. So how do you do that? Yeah, okay, that's gonna take a lot time to code and research. So I don't think that's suitable for my live stream now, because, you know, so yeah, another dead end. Okay, so today we got 2 dead end. So this is metadata sample. This is what? This is MP3 file sample. Okay. Oh yeah, this Nikon camera is a camera I had in 2023. I mean 2003, 20 years ago. Yeah. Wow. So I had this page like 20 years ago. 2010. Okay. Okay. Yeah. 2010. Okay, but this is 2003. Okay, so that's a sample EXIF metadata. Okay, so search for date. If you search for date, you got date. Okay, now this is, now what is this one? This is sample output on MP3 file. Okay. Okay, right now we don't care for MP3 files. Okay, so then you got a daytime original. Okay, 2001. Yeah, that's not one of my files. Bajok song. MP3. I bought a CD, then ripped it. Okay, so then you got GPS thing. Okay, so what? Then you got, let's look at the man page. Okay, so then check the man page, search for date, list or date names. Okay, so there is an easy way. Let's search for date. Okay, let's highlight all words that say date. Okay, so let's go down. So this set format for datetime values sets the format. Okay, but not necessarily the date. Then you got preserve file modification datetime. Okay, then you don't care. Then you got shift or formatted datetime values, global time shift. What the fuck? Shift or formatted datetime values. Okay, then you got optional details tag, extract information for the specific tag. For example, create date. Okay, yeah, but is that the date the photo was taken, or what is it? Okay, there's so many. Okay, so you see, there are so many, there are some 20 pages more. Okay, so we not, okay, cheat. Let's ask AI bot, how do you extract the date a photo is taken? Okay, yeah, because this is gonna be incredible. It's such update date format, datetime original. Oh, so you can datetime original, create date, not create date. Okay, let's ask Grok. In a photo, let's see, let's magnify. Which header is the date, time the photo was taken? You know, very broad question, because it may depends on the image format, JPEG or PNG, and let's just ask it. In a photo file, the date and time the photo was taken are typically stored in the EXIF metadata, not in a single header per se. Okay, EXIF is a standard something something. The specific EXIF tag that contains the date time the photo was taken is called datetime original. That's what you want. Okay, so thank you AI. Now go back here, then list all lines containing that word. Okay, so this, so that's basically that's what you want. Okay, so now so now let's color all that word by pink. Okay, so oops, I think my screen went to the night mode, so let's turn it off. Night light. Now, does that actually show up on video? Let's see. Night light. So I think it does not show when you stream. Interesting. So anyway, we don't know how to do it. So it's stored in that daytime original, tag name daytime original format. Okay. To view this information, okay. How to extract this using PowerShell. Let's see if you can. Let's say if it suggests. To extract the daytime original from photos EXIF metadata using PowerShell, you can leverage the system.drawing. Wow, it gives you a script. Let's try it. Can we? Fantastic. Okay, so looks nice. Now it's a bit promising. I'm not sure, but so let's go to today's talk show and extract. Okay, then let's make a PowerShell script, paste it there, pop it out. Okay, that's the code. And let's copy this group so that we have a record of, so we can reference to it. Okay, here's the code. So it's using the .NET system.drawing.image. I've used that before to extract the width and height, but that is very slow. So you need that. Okay, then property ID for daytime original. Oh, so you got a property ID. Shit. You got property ID, then get property items. So so you can actually get it just like that. Image.get property item. Okay. Wow. So then you got ASCII get string, then trim, then right output daytime is that. So okay, looks like this could be the answer, but now we need to test it with a actual photographics image. I don't have it. I just got screenshots here, so yeah, so I need to do it offline. I don't want to try to do it for my photos. Okay, so I'm gonna do that offline, and close that, showing browser, and that's it for today. So this is PowerShell example. Can you do it in, oh god, how do you do it in Bash? Okay, let's try to ask it. So on Windows, this requires the system.drawing.image. So I don't know. You see, PowerShell is dependent on .NET, and the entire .NET is open source. And PowerShell is also available on Linux. You can install it, which I have. I have installed on Mac and Linux. But does that mean all the .NET functions are included? I'm not sure. So the question is, does it include the system.drawing.image for PowerShell on Linux? That is critical question. I don't know. So anyway, so let's try to ask a different question. How to extract it on Linux. Okay, let's see what it says. Okay, so you got use exif tool. Okay, this I can use. This I have. I already installed it. There it is. Fantastic. Just use that. Fantastic. Great. Okay, I think that's the answer I want. Okay, and that would be it. That would be it for today. So you just all you have to do is just say shell and that command, show in browser. Okay, bye guys. Hey Palash, hey, we got some people joining late. Hello Xah. Hi there. Emulation Edu, hi. May you prosper and be well. I would love to suggest you DuckDuckGo's AI. Just opening up options for you. Thank you for your honest ramblings. DuckDuckGo is no good, okay? DuckDuckGo, they started massive. They started censorship when the Ukraine war began. Now, I don't know, I don't know what is your political inclination. So when I talk about politics, when you talk about politics, it may offend some party, depending on like which thing. So, but I have a blog about it. DuckDuckGo censor results. So before 2018, DuckDuckGo is supposed to be, well loved by all the nerds because they don't track privacy and they don't censor. But starting 2018, that's when Ukraine war began. They say, oh, all the fake news, we need to, we want to prevent censorship. Where is it? Here. Wait. They got several problems. They got technical problems too. But anyway, starting here, DuckDuckGo censor result for Ukraine war because the guy apparently. Anyway, that's politics. Okay, that's another topic. Ukraine war, if I may summarize, Ukraine war is a massive plunder by the USA deep state, and killing lots of people. That's what we are doing. So far, 500,000, 500,000 young people died. And Trump is stopping it right now. Okay, that's it about that. Bye, guys.